This is for the one who ain't never had a love, yeah. This one's for the girl who don't feel like she's enough, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's for the cool kid playing on the school team, crying to himself cause he never had the prom queen. Head full of wands, but they said it's just a pipe dream, yeah. This one's for the kids like me, they ain't never had one day. The ladies always turn their cheek, but they ain't let the fat ones sing. This one's for the kids like me, kept working when they had nothing. When people try to take their dreams, they stuck it to them, please don't change. For the nerds and the misfits, bullied by the rich kids, feel like
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. How is everybody doing out there on this Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025, episode number 182? It is almost spooky season, Dave. We're getting there.
I know. Do you have a costume? I don't have.
I don't. I'm not wearing a costume this year. There was no party that we had to go to. So, me and Julie decided not to get a costume. I was trying to tell her, I can be Qui-Gon Jinn. I could be a samurai.
You actually
can
be Qui-Gon. I'll
you
give you
can
that.
be it on your own. I'm not dressing up this year. And I'm like, I hate you. So, but no, then I shouldn't say that because yesterday was mine and my wife's ninth wedding anniversary. So I love her. She's an amazing human. But overall, how's everything going, Dave?
It's going well. I have a slight headache, so if I seem a little out of it, that might be why. But I'll
just
be okay.
being weak.
I'll be okay. I took my meds.
Just being weakness, Dave. But
so I want to get to this real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, Nate, we're not going to discuss it very much on the show. Maybe next week.
Or maybe I'll do a second show. Maybe I'll do something a little later. And if Dave's around, we can talk about it. Yeah, no, Nate is going to be not into the internet drama.
Yeah, we're not going to be touching on
then we're not jumping into
let you know we knew.
Yes. But before we get into anything fun, make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars, all of that good stuff from wherever you're watching from, whether it's YouTube, X, Facebook, Kick, Rumble. We appreciate all of you out there. Do the good stuff. And if you're listening to this later via podcast form, which admittedly, I have been absolutely terrible at updating podcast. Dave, I think I'm 6 podcasts out for this show in particular to
Not
get
a surprise.
It is awful. So overall, I need to be better, and I will. There's a lot of things going on with me, but it is what it is. I will get it done. I'll get it better. But Dave, we have a absolute, fun stream ahead of us. But 2 weeks ago, real quick, we tried to get it done with Side Effect, our good buddy. That didn't work. Happy to announce Side Effect will be coming back on. When did I say, Dave? When did I say he's coming back on? The 5th? Yes. He will be back on November 5th. And hopefully we're going to get the technical stuff ready because I was pumped. We were getting to some good stuff about some inside baseball, about Hollywood and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to have him back on. So we'll be doing that. But this week, I'm pumped because let's bring him in and then we could talk about how stupid I am in a second. So excited to have him on. He is Darran Bruce. He is the executive producer of the DJ Sessions. Darran, what's going on, man?
Hey, guys. How's it doing this evening? I'm doing good.
It's
doing really good. So the fun story that I told you is, Darran, I'm extremely happy with your patience and the fact that you're a nice human because it was well over 3 years ago. I think it was in July of 22 that I got an email on my not checked enough the Alex Cuesta Show email. And I was, at that point, I'm probably I'll get to it. And at that point, I think we were a really early on show. We kind of really didn't know as much what we were doing. And I'm I'll get to this. Cool. Guest. And I'm cleaning up my emails. And all of a sudden, I'm this is 3 years old. Let me give it a shot. And fortunately enough, you decided to come on. So thank you so much.
You wouldn't, I don't think anything would survive 3 years in my email history at this point, considering how many thousands if I walk away from my computer for a day or two, I'm looking at probably 400 to 500 emails.
Oh my God.
Easy.
What's it like being an important person?
I am not an important person. I'm just a real big geek that found a way of doing things using this awesome technology and a passion for playing with a video camera at the age of 6. And 45 years later, I happen to be doing it still, in
That's
the sense
awesome.
of things.
So you're doing something incredibly cool, and I 100% want to get into it, but I want to get more background on
Mhm.
you first. So, what made you want to do music, and are you a DJ yourself? Do you do EDM?
That's a great question.
Yes.
What made me want to do this, first of all, was well, like I said, I started playing with a video camera at the age of 6. We're talking the late 70s, early 80s. The video camera that dad said don't touch because it was $1,000. The VCR was $1,000.
Yep.
But being a kid and how we were, as I'd take it out and I'd play with it and figure it out. But I was the kid that growing up with my dad, he threw me the stereo instruction manual. He threw me here. We got the first wireless phone.
Yeah.
How do you program numbers in it? How do you speed
Mhm.
dial? How do you do? He lavished me with technology. We never were
Yeah.
a computer family, but definitely the wires, the plugs, the stereo, those kind of things.
Yeah.
My
Like
brother
the
was
AV, the
technological,
AC
yeah.
adapter, DC
yeah,
adapter, all that type of
exactly.
stuff.
Mhm.
So I felt very comfortable with that stuff. I had taken an electronics class in high school, but it wasn't really until senior year of high school. Our school offered the first ever video production class in the state of Washington,
That's
That's
which
awesome.
is 1991, 92.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
So while the other kids are still trying to figure out what the zoom button did on a camera, I'm sitting there with I know how to use a tripod. I know how to do this. I know how to edit deck to deck. I mean, I was making videos in 7th grade
Did
to
you
make a
convince
little
them to get a
movie.
gimbal in class, or was that too advanced for them? At the
Oh,
gimbal?
that was way too advanced.
Too
No, no,
advanced
no,
for
no,
them.
no, 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 no way, no. But I did get to play with the Amiga computer, and that did some basic graphics with that. But
Nice.
then I walked right out of high school and found myself, and the story goes kind of funny. I went to work for a music store, and I met this girl at the music store, and we decided to go on what I thought was maybe a friendship thing, but more of a date friendship thing. We got
Nice.
to this nightclub, and while I'm sitting in the nightclub, it wasn't really my genre of music that I was into at that time.
Yep.
So I'm just sitting there, but I see these two guys and this girl over in the corner, and it's lights, camera, action. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, hey, what are they doing?
Mhm.
There's what? Nobody has video cameras in nightclubs.
Yeah.
I just turned 18 and started going to the city nightclubs, not the local nightclubs myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So long story short, I walk over to them, and it turns out they were filming for a hip hop television show called the
Nice.
Cool Out Network. And they were on public access because that's all you had. Unless you had money to buy for broadcast quality cameras, you had public access. That's where
Yep.
you can go.
Yep.
So doing a hip hop show, and I got involved with them and started working with them on and off for a number of years.
That's
Isn't it
Always
so
trying.
cool? Just being a little bit brave sometimes and
Yeah.
being a little bit outgoing
Yep.
creates those opportunities. Because
Yep.
if you weren't yourself and you weren't just curious by nature and like those types of things, and you just sat there and watched and was like, "That's cool," and then kept moving, you would have never had the opportunity to get into music that way.
And the one thing that was really cool about it is that we kind of figured out a way to break the system a little bit with the public access network, because when you live in an area, you could only broadcast out of the county that you lived in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I lived in Snohomish County, and Giorgio, the executive producer, lived in King County. So what I'd do is I'd run down and pick up the tapes for him, and I was registered in Snohomish County, so we could play him in Snohomish County and King County. And then we got
Fantastic.
somebody in Tacoma down in Pierce County. So we kind of had this whole I-5 Seattle
Yep.
metro kind of hooked up on
That's
public
pretty cool.
access playing the
Yeah.
shows, which was really awesome. Kind of my first distribution deal I was ever a
Yeah,
part of.
actually, yeah.
Set the way forward clock a number of years later. 2000, I had a chance to work with Giorgio on a late night talk show pilot series here in Seattle. And I had to become basically from being an overglorified production assistant to an associate producer, like really quick.
Wow.
Like overnight, literally
a
going to
jump.
Barnes and Nobles. And everything I was doing read contract, sign a contract, get this in writing, get the show, get the production notes down. This is big time. We're going to be big because this is going to be like the Arsenio Hall show for the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's
And
huge.
here we are, way kind of out of our depth here. I mean,
Mhm.
we weren't, but so lo and behold, they ended up producing the series, and I walked away saying, I'm going to go do my own thing. I really realized what I want to do because I made $1,800 for about 40 hours worth of work doing what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Have I made well, I've made money since then, but that was a lot of money to me back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
And so
and back then that was a decent amount of money.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
wasn't like
I mean,
nothing
for
to
the
scoff at.
production and the work that we did, it was a fly by night, turned around, pilot episode done in a week. You know,
cool.
it was good enough to get him financing to have another 4 episodes produced.
That's great.
That's good.
But you know, left that with the idea of wanting to do my own show.
Mhm.
And again, there's still no YouTube in the universe at this point. But went to
no.
school to go to school to get a business degree. Took some video editing courses. Fell in love with Final Cut Pro at that time. But at that time, also the GL1, XL2, XL1 cameras came out,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
were broadcast quality cameras. For $1,000, you could now film and put it on broadcast. You didn't have to worry about the FCC coming in doing super blacks and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So you had
And
to go
that's like a
gap
big
height
difference
stuff.
because those broadcast cameras back in the day were like 10 grand, 8 grand.
Oh yeah,
So
exactly.
it's and then they bring it down to
And it's
consumer
not
level.
today's 10 grand. That's back
Yeah,
then.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And to make it down to consumer level. So while you say like, oh, it was $1,000, and a lot of people are like, that's a lot of money, but considering what you needed to have in order to get a broadcast camera that could sit
Mhm.
there and do that, like that made it so much more feasible
The
just
ease
at
of
that
access.
level to do things at a good
Yeah.
quality that's
And,
production
and
value.
then also bringing in nonlinear digital editing with Final Cut Pro and Adobe After or Photo. No, come on, Premiere.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
made it even easier to now digitize this footage and quickly turn around and edit. There was no more
Mhm.
deck to deck, reel to reel, you know, stuff like that. But you know, I put my first show and pitched it to the Fox station here. We actually went to the NBC affiliate first, and looking back on it, we call that one the pile of shit. The pilot of shit. I probably still have it on some tape, back some beta tape out in my underneath my bed or something, you know. But long story short, we went back and revamped the show and launched Phantasmagoria on Fox in 2022 or 2002. Oh, what did I say? 2022, 2002. And you know, it was kind of like, wow, we did 6 episodes.
Mhm.
And it was cool still. I mean, to put a show on broadcast television was like, whoa. The same effort to put a show on public access was the same effort to put it on broadcast. The only
Yeah.
difference is we bought our time slots,
Got
you
it.
know, on broadcast television.
Yeah.
Late night,
Okay.
1:30 in the morning, but it fit our genre of show because it was a show that showed short films by independent producers. So kind of that late night, get out of the
Mhm.
bar, you're up Friday night into Saturday. Like, what the
Yep.
hell is this?
Well, that's better than like the infomercials. Like if you
Well,
left, like
I was
if
gonna
you left Eon by mistake, you were like waking up to infomercials for Girls
Yeah, I was
Gone
gonna say,
Wild. Like,
honestly, it just
Yeah.
makes
it's
me
like so
think
much
of,
better.
it just makes me think of like Adult Swim because that's what I think of when I
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
where it's just like,
A little bit of
okay, we're
homage to
giving these
Adult
people a
Swim.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching a lot of Adult Swim at that time. Fell in love with
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop because of that. And
Oh,
other
Ah,
I
shows.
okay.
love Cowboy Bebop.
Um,
It is anime's Han Solo story.
Very,
Okay, it's
yeah,
so
very good.
freaking
it's
good.
amazing.
Very good starter.
And
So how much did you hate
basically,
the live action? Real quick, how much did you absolutely hate that live action?
can I not comment on that?
But didn't you know if we
No.
would have just given him a second season, then they would have gotten it right? Apparently.
Well, the thing is, they changed up a lot of storylines. Okay, cool. Maybe they modernized it. Okay, cool. Not going to knock that. Maybe it happened in an alternate universe of Cowboy Bebop. Okay, got that. I just think what happened is production was done during COVID. So when we were used to
that
seeing a
definitely
lot
did
of background actors,
Yeah.
a lot of things on site, they just didn't have that vibe feel of city hustle and bustle, hustle and bustle. It felt like it was very studio oriented, green screen, you know, obviously probably was all that, but I mean, I wish it would have been a lot better. Although I do love the actors in it. You know, some of the side stories going the way they did, but you got to understand, you're talking.
I didn't like the way they did Faye.
memorized every episode, and
I
movie.
did not like the way they portrayed Faye Valentine. Faye Valentine was
No,
probably the
no.
worst part of it. And if you get Faye wrong, you kind of get the story wrong.
Yeah.
Well, there was comment on that too of why they like I said, we could have a whole show just
Yeah,
Yeah,
we could-
yeah,
we
we're
could
not
back
trying
on.
to-
These are
we're
my-
not trying to
listen,
derail.
You're
It's all
talking to
good.
two anime nerds, so we could 100% spur
I
out with things like
love
that.
Cowboy Bebop all day long. But anyways, back to the story is, you know, in
Yeah.
2005, I came back and produced my series again. This was right when YouTube was coming out, and kind of looked at YouTube as this thing like what you see TikTok people doing now. It was not a serious medium,
Yep.
and you could only put 15 minutes of content at a time, and our
Mhm.
shows are half an hour.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So we go through this YouTube phase. We pass on YouTube, but I was working for Apple at the time. And I said to myself, this is probably early 2005. And I'm looking and going, wait a second. They can make a photo iPod. They can make a color screen. What would it take for them to make a watered down version of QuickTime and put it on an iPod and play a movie on one of these damn things? You got the hard drive.
Yeah.
What's it going to take to do that? And it was like 3-4 months later, the video iPod comes out. And I'm sitting in the stores, and because all the deals are so secret, Steve is always so secret about stuff. They didn't even let the network stations know what was going on because they didn't want one iota of this to get out into the public. They're launching a video iPod.
Steve Jobs was so good with that, about keeping everything close to the vest, you know, making sure that only when he wanted things to come out, it came out.
Exactly. And so what happened is when those came out into the stores, I was working for Apple Retail at the time. The iPods are on the floor and everyone wants to come see a video iPod. Well, there's no videos loaded on them because they didn't have any network deals to put shows on them. Whose shows were they going to put on? What licensing did they have to put on? Blah, blah, blah. Well, we figured out in the store how to encode our files to put them onto the iPods, and we loaded every iPod in the store with our videos.
That's so
our
smart.
whole pilot series of ITV, which was 8 separate television shows that we had at that time. Throughout that time, I think we had all 8 of them approved on like 10 network stations on the West Coast to air. And, you know, then I started dabbling a little bit into YouTube, but we started looking at podcasting as a medium, as a distribution medium.
By the way, I just want to say I would take your pilot over YouTube putting their album on it any other day without me, YouTube without asking, putting their album on there. I am not.
Yeah, it's just we didn't see that. But the one thing that happened is I made some phone calls into Apple and got in touch with the iTunes department.
Yes,
and basically, the guy said to me, Darran, I like what you got. Just do me a favor and go look at iTunes on Thursday. This is like a Monday, Tuesday. I said, okay, what's happening there? And he goes, I can't tell you. Just go look at iTunes. And if you know, traditionally new music gets released on Thursdays. So we go and look, there's a whole new iTunes store and they had developed the podcast section. In that podcast section, it broke out the different genres, but in that section, they made a video podcast section. And we debuted in that section at number 48.
Awesome.
That's
really
like,
sweet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So here we are doing, 100 downloads a week, maybe. We started climbing 10,000, 50,000. At one point, I was tracking with my team. Some of the people I worked at the Apple Store. I'm like, we did 300,000 this week. All of us are trying to figure out how to make money at this because nobody would ever really monetize the podcast at this level. I mean, that's like saying, hey, you got a new cable station. You're one of the hot 10 cable shows.
Yeah, have fun. Yeah.
And we climb up to position 23 and everyone in the whole podcast section was kind of like, how do we monetize this? How do we make money? I mean, there was no way to track any Nielsen ratings or Arbitron. Couldn't say who was watching, where they were watching, country codes, all that fun stuff. But that being said, set the way forward clock to 2009, and I was at Winter Music Conference in Miami, and this guy comes to me and says, Darran, I know you do this podcast series, but what do you think about the idea of a live streaming DJ? And I went, live streaming, that's going to cost so much money on bandwidth. There's no way. It's $3,000 a month for me to host the servers if I want to do my internet radio stations. There's no way. Who's doing this? Well, there's this company called Ustream, and they let you stream for free. And I'm like, what? Okay, it must be for Windows users because it's not going to work for Mac. This is it's probably a Mac or a Explorer-based only browser that they don't make for Mac anymore, so I can't get it. So no, I started playing around with it. And over the course of 2009, I made this show, or I wanted to take my shows, my broadcast shows, but do live versions of them. So we got this theater, like a small theater up too far from where I live now. And we showed some short films. We had a live studio audience. We did some comedy. We did some audience participation, but we had a DJ playing. And out of the whole thing, I came back, this is July of 2009. The easiest thing to do that I realized when I came back after the entire show was just letting the DJ play for like 35 minutes while we did reset. And I'm like, oh, that was freaking easy. Okay. Now I got an idea. And I knew all the DJs and nightclub people in town at that time. I've been around promoting nightclubs or doing stuff for a long time. So I started bouncing that idea around. One night, my friend calls me up, Alex Eagleton. He goes, Darran, I'm coming over. We're doing the DJ sessions. I'm like, oh, okay.
I guess so.
You can go watch this episode to this day if you type it in and watch the episode. And this was high tech crap shit we were doing back then too.
Yeah.
And it was going directly to Facebook and the Facebook boom.
Everyone needs that type of friend, though. Everyone needs that type of friend that it's like,
hey, like you were doing this.
We're just doing this. You don't have a choice. And those are the friends that get things done.
It was about a bottle of wine in and about an hour into the show. And I had my headphones on. I'm doing my Facebook live streaming, talking in the chat room. He's behind me on a computer DJing on a computer, not decks, not nothing like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I go to stand up to go to the bathroom. I take my headsets off, and it's completely dead silent in my apartment. But I felt like I was in a nightclub, dancing,
Yeah.
partying,
Yeah.
and interacting with people online. I went, "What the fuck?" All right, this is cool. This is cool. Come on. The next week, we moved the show into my bedroom, which became the new studio,
Mhm.
and then started inviting DJs to come over. Well,
Mhm.
almost finished up wrapping up here because then I'll
No, you're
jump
good. You're
forward.
fine.
No, you're good. This is all
Yeah.
about you, brother. This is all about you. I love this.
And so what happened is then later, a couple months later down the road, I was inviting some local great big name DJs, promotion crews over to my place.
Mhm.
But I had the opportunity to invite a DJ by the name of Dave Dresden over to my house. I had interviewed Dave earlier that year at Winter Music Conference, not really knowing who he was, how big he was at that time. Gabriel and Dresden, now they have one of the biggest live streaming DJ shows online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard
And
of Dave
Dresden.
When I was in
But-
college, we listened to a ton of EDM. So I was
Yeah.
2007 to 2012 ish, and all we did was listen to house music. And that was at the peak of like Swedish House Mafia,
Mhm.
Armin being the greatest DJ in the history of man, all of that.
Yeah, and it was when Dave was playing and this is 2 years. If you remember, if you were into that then, you probably remember a show that's still out there called The Boiler Room.
Yes.
And we started inviting DJs over to play in our studio 2 years before The Boiler Room existed. People were doing DJ shows online,
Mhm.
but it's usually them as the DJ. You'll see where I'm getting into this to answer that second question you asked.
Yeah,
No,
you're good.
I am not a DJ. I just play one on TV. In order to that story. But basically, it was when I saw that, I went, wait a second. I used to do interviews with all these DJs backstage. Why don't I just ask them to come over to the studio, do an interview, and play a set?
Yeah.
And the idea was to get the bigger name DJs to give us a little bit of eye candy for the show while we help support the lower, the lower DJs, the supporting DJs, and do the regulars with them every week. And then we got the mobile studio. If you go to our site and check out the mobile sessions, we have basically a big glass box truck on the back, a big glass box on the back of a truck.
Yeah.
If we drive around, we could pull that up to events and do interviews, basically like a mobile studio, literally, that I could stream from. One of the first probably live streaming mobile studios that I had ever seen in the world, and could do some really cool stuff with that. And so set the way forward clock. We're kind of like, what do I do with this brand? What do I do with this thing? It wasn't until 13 that the ITV was still the moniker for the shows, but I stopped doing broadcast shows in 2009, and it was ITV Live, and ITV Live presents the DJ sessions.
Yep.
And then in 2013, my friend just says, Darren, why don't you just brand the DJ sessions off on its own thing? And I said, I bought the domain name, got our first website. Yes, if you want to laugh, go back in the Wayback Machine and look up the DJ sessions.
Kind of want to
Okay.
do that.
You got to go through about 5 years of looking at that website being there before you get to the new version in 2018. And then you got to hold that site. I'll stop. I'll tell you what happened in 18. We were hosting with Restream. Everything was going great. Everything's good. Everything's
That's
good.
who we host with right now.
Well, I got my wait, did I say you? I said Ustream. Did I say Restream?
Restream, yeah.
I meant Ustream.
There you go.
You're using Ustream. And no, I love Restream. No plugs. But no, I use them all the time
listen,
for everything.
Restream's been great for us. We've been using them when we started doing the shows between StreamYard and Restream, and Restream was kind of still trying to kick the door in a little bit.
Yep.
And the streamers I like were complaining about StreamYard left and right. Dave, when we started doing this, that was like a bunch of them were talking about potentially going over that. None of them did, but a bunch of them were talking about it.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's just use Restream.
Oh,
my God.
You did not. Oh,
I needed to find it. I was like, I'm very
geez.
interested. I love old school layouts because there's
So here's the whole
This
concept.
was like a
behind this.
MySpace page. This is amazing.
when we broke it off, the whole concept is I wanted a website. This is the only template I could find out there. Because lo and behold, I was not going to pay a dev to do this. And I use WordPress for everything.
Yeah.
But I wanted a
WordPress
website where
is
we could have pages on the website with very limited information,
Yep.
but it would never interrupt the stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way you're watching the DJ set the whole time. And as you clicked around and we had different information, you were still there. All the links should take you somewhere else. You see this old ITV logo there. I had a chat room in there. Yeah, it was fun. And it gets a little bit better. Just a little bit better. I added bells and whistles to it. But at least we had our own domain. And that's what started telling me, instead of telling people, hey, watch us on Ustream. Hey, watch us on Facebook.
Yeah.
It was go to our domain name, watch us on the DJsessions.com.
Which is helpful.
Which is just, I tell every artist that now, get your own domain name, get your own website. The socials are great, but you own your own property there and you capture people and keep them there. And it helps your Google rankings go up when people are visiting your website and staying there.
Yeah.
That being said, we in 2018, I got slapped on the hand by two major companies, GoDaddy and Ustream came in.
Oh, wow.
And GoDaddy came in and said, hey, dude, you can't be doing 17 to 25 terabytes of data on a $15 a month hosting account. And I said, I come back and I go, well, it says unlimited bandwidth and it says unlimited storage. And they're like, yeah, but no.
You're like that person at the you could eat buffet that goes back
Right?
for the 10th plate. And they're like, can you just stop?
Exactly. I'm like, no, you guys said so. I had to switch over I now use Podbean on my back end, which is an amazing company. Great rates, great company, lots of support there. But then Ustream came into me and said, because IBM bought them out and said, that $10 a month grandfathered plan that because you were featured live stream with us is going away. And your baseline is going to be $1,600 a month to keep all your video files hosted and the bandwidth you're using. I'm like, what the?
So the thing about these companies that bothers me is Ustream was probably getting so many users because of you, because they're sitting there and watching, and it's like you're probably sitting there going like, hey, we're on Ustream, things like so they're probably sitting there, and other people that want to stream, like even if it's one per show, right, or once a week, that's another customer that's paying. So for them to turn around, for someone that's been there doing it and is a big streamer on their platform, to go like, hey, now we're going to charge you like everybody else an exorbitant amount of money, it's like kick rocks.
The thing they did, though, is what they were trying to do, and I could see what happened. Corporate came in and said, we want to take this and sell our streaming services into corporate infrastructures and get, $100,000 a year contracts to do this for this company, make millions of dollars doing that like that. And I'm like, all right, cool. But at the time, you could we had 2 megabit bandwidth we were working with. And if that, it was probably 0.768, like probably a meg. They said 2. I had to have dual copper wire brought into the street into my building just to get the internet I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And that being said, I was like, shit, what do I do? So at that time, you could only really stream to one. At that time, I was looking at getting 3 Mac Minis and going Ustream, live stream. And we never really looked at Justin TV at the time. You'll see what this goes. Because I think if you know the history of what Justin TV is now, aka Twitch. We never looked at it because it was that kind of more video gamers or how are we going to go down if we got all our people knowing Ustream. Ustream worked with Facebook. If I put a link into Facebook, it would play it right in Facebook,
which is helpful, right?
Which was really like the YouTube videos would play right in Facebook. Whatever. So I had to make a quick decision, and I started making some calls to people and got in touch with Twitch. And said, Twitch, this is my brand. This is what I got. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. The guy said, Darran, you and your brand, the DJ Sessions, we're making you a partnered show with us right now. And I went, what?
At that point, they were still heavily into gaming more than anything, right?
Like, and being a partner with Twitch is not something that was as normal as it is now.
No, that was rare.
It was. If you look, and it's still there to this day on what it takes to be a partner on their site. But that was the mountaintop you had to climb in order to just be considered to be a partner with them. And I was like, okay, WTF, what do we do now? And so there's a little bit of a debate. I like to call ourselves a featured partner at the time, because one of the things they said, okay, here's what we're going to do for you. We are going to, you ready for this, Darran? This is like 2 months into after getting everything switched up, getting the Podbean, getting the whole podcast series imported to another platform, getting the Twitch all up and running, and new
the
website
RSS
design.
codes never go correctly when you're trying to move them. They're trying to take the RSS code, and it's always like, but this is wrong. And it's like, what do you mean? All I did was copy and paste.
Well, before that, when I was hosting with GoDaddy, I was hand coding my podcast feed.
Oh, Jesus.
I literally would copy last week's podcast, put the new one in, find out even what the bit rate and the how many bits the show was. Second, I was typing it all in by hand. It was not as easy as it is with Podbean.
Time consuming. It's a good thing we were MySpace kids. We were MySpace kids. We knew how to code.
Yeah, there you go.
You had to code your own damn pages.
So yeah, I basically they say we want to put you to the front page of Twitch, and I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, cool.
Awesome.
Luckily, we pulled it off without a hitch. 2 hours of streaming. We had 2,500 viewers. The chat room is just going insane.
Nice.
I was not ready for anything like that. And so I said, okay, now this is getting real. This is real time. Like we're in the big leagues here, because they were not featuring live streams of music people that I know of at all at that time.
No, they were all gaming, and they were competing with, I think, like Facebook gaming and stuff like that. There was a few trying to come in.
Even Microsoft came out with their own platform and pulled Ninja away from Twitch and offered.
Yeah, that was a bit ago.
I was like, okay. But that being said,
Mixer, man.
you know, we got ready for 2020. We were coming back and on the back end with. I mean, there was a lot of NDAs that I had and a lot of secret stuff that I was being given from Twitch, which was really cool at the time. But we got ready to come back in 2020 and was like, okay, we're going to do this. And I talked to them and said, hey, we want to get back to the front page of Twitch again. And they told me some copyright things I should be looking out for if they're going to do that. And then they said, well, you know, Darren, we charge $50,000 to $100,000 for those front page spots. And I'm like, what?
Ooh.
I'm like, what? Yeah. So that was what I was told at the time. I don't know what they charge now, but long story short, I was like, okay, so how do we get back to the front page of Twitch? I didn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
But like, and they didn't just come in, well, 50 to 100,000. I'm like, okay, what do I do? But anyways, we're really ramping up for 2020. And well, I think everyone knows what happened there.
Yeah.
I call it the look at me year. I saw everyone that I used to work with go out and do a live streaming DJ show. And I'm like, well, what the fuck does that? What do I do now? I'm not a DJ. I can't go over to anyone's house without the fear of being ostracized and blackballed out of the industry.
And considering you were in Cali and you're still in Cali, and that was like,
no, I'm in Seattle.
Oh, you're in Seattle?
I'm in Seattle.
Okay, but
we got weather up here.
You guys are London. Seattle is London in the United States in terms of weather, but it was such a weird time, and it really depended on where you were and also what phase of the kind of like COVID. Because in the beginning, everyone was kind of like, all right, 2 weeks, we get it. And even after that, everyone's like, okay, it's still a little bit scary. We'll stay a little. And then certain pockets were like, screw this, we're reopening. And the other pockets are like, if you dare leave, we shall arrest your family. And it's like, what do we do? Like, it was such a weird, such a weird time then. But so I get it. Like, you're kind of like, now what?
Well, one of the things that we did is I used silent disco technology, and I was the guy that was on the playbook for this stuff. Like,
so what is silent disco? So for you all
don't know, so silent disco is a technology. Some call it silent disco, some call it silent events. I'm trying to get away and go into more of the silent events side of things for some stuff that we have coming up.
Yeah.
But basically, instead of amplified music, it goes through headphones, and then you can basically choose wirelessly, walk 1,000 feet away from wherever the music's coming from, still hear it, but then you can change the channels and listen to other things on the channels. So
cool.
I love
them. Are you synced up with all the other headphones? So like if I'm listening to channel A and you're on channel A, would we be hearing the same thing at the same time?
Exactly. Yes. And they're all like mini
parties in each corner. You can have like different like parties in every corner.
I could have 7 different. Most people get the 3-channel headsets. I have 7-channel headsets. I could have 7 different activations. But I don't need the large footprint that you would need if you had 7 different huge stages.
That's really
the sound's
cool.
going to muffle everything out. Yeah. I could have 4 performers on the same stage right in front of you. You can choose which one you want to listen to.
That's awesome.
That's pretty.
I could have 4 DJs playing at the same time. That's some stuff we're going to be launching here in just a few months coming up.
And I think that's really cool too, because a lot of the problems with certain areas, like I know there's some like venues in like that I've been to in Philadelphia and things like that, but there's the noise ordinance, right? Where they don't want things going on. Like I'm a big
like
fan
11.
of the band Incubus. Like they remember when we went to see Incubus over in Philly,
Yep.
and we couldn't get an encore. The show had to end at exactly that time because there was a noise ordinance. And it's so that whole entire silent technology gives you the ability to sit there and it's like, all right, they want to perform until 3 a.m. We're the only ones hearing it. Let's roll. Like that's cool.
It's really awesome. I'm a huge foodie, and one of my favorite things is the all you can eat buffet. If I go to a club, and it's not that I don't like a certain genre of music, but if it's a genre that I'm like not feeling, I'm like, I might want to bounce.
Yeah.
But let's say I'm a huge house head. If there's a house channel on, I'm going to listen to that house channel. But if there's a trance one, I might want the trance. If there's techno, if there's happy hardcore playing, hey, let the happy hardcores go over there, let the house people be over here, and we can do that in a small footprint without the noise crossing over everything.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
it's
cool.
crazy when you see the DJs in this certain kind of circumstance. They kind of start to battle for dominance of the colors on the headsets.
Oh yeah,
It's
100%.
really cool because you'll have it like the whole floor could be all red. And then all of a sudden you see a couple kids over the corner and they're dancing on blue. And then somebody looks and you see the whole floor go and switch over to blue, you know, and then you see the DJ go, now I got to bring the fire.
Well, there's got to
again.
be a ton of FOMO, right? Because like I feel like you get a little FOMO there because when everyone has that color, it's gonna be like, wait, what are they listening to? Like,
Well, what's
and that I feel
crazy
like
is
that's fun.
I'll pitch it to clients and they'll say, oh, that doesn't seem like a very sociable technology because people are going to be wearing headsets. They won't be able to talk to each other. I go, it's actually more sociable because you're going to start gravitating towards people that are on the same wavelength, hearing the same thing that you're doing. But you can always just go, hello, hi, how's it going?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
has a volume knob. You can turn the volume down. They're actually very social tools, especially building. You might meet friends and meet people you never would talk to in a club because they're over there and you're over here, but you might have gravitated towards each other because you're both on the blue channel.
Have you thought about doing like a fun competition where you time how long everyone is on the certain DJ,
Which
and then
they
like
wanted
you
to
give like make it a competition, and the DJ that gets the most listening time gets like something like
You
maybe a
know,
little extra prize or like bragging rights. But I feel like that could be like a fun little like a DJ war.
You just gave me an idea for
Of course.
I'm opening up a venue here in the next few weeks. I'm coming on as the event manager, program manager. One of the things we could do is we could adjust the lightings to whatever the dominant colors are. So if it's all blue, we switch it to the blue lightings. If we see red start taking off, we switch it to red. If it's green, we switch it to green. And that would be the dominant colors winning, but somebody could watch that with a timer or clock and be like, who
And
won the
I feel like that would
contest?
just be you could probably program it too so that there's like you have in there like
Hey,
how
don't give me
long.
too much work, dude. I already got so much
So here's
work
the thing,
there.
but that would be, but I feel like for me, like, so Dave knows I'm an ideas person. I will give people a million ideas that I have no possibility or ability to execute. I just think of things. So that would be awesome. And here's the thing: steal my idea, go make money, have fun.
Yeah, I usually give each person I meet one multi-million-dollar idea. It's for them to go develop it, but
Well,
hey,
mine might bring you like an extra $50, but if it's
Yeah,
extra,
yeah,
then
yeah.
we're in. So I want to get to a few comments here before we keep going.
Sure.
From your spot over there, Chris Tavares said they also had a boiler
Chris
room in LA
Tavares.
as well.
Wait a
Yes.
second. Chris Tavares is in the room?
Yeah.
Manny's little
paired on the
brother?
FaceTime.
I've known
Huh?
that kid since he was a kid.
Chris Tavares also saying all your development has always been ahead of its time. And that's honestly just hearing you talk. One of the things I have to say is I just enjoy the fact that you're just so much of a go-getter. Like you see something, you take the risk. And people that take the risks are the ones that get the rewards. If you sit there and you don't do anything and you're always looking and going, man, that was my idea. Like, no, obviously it wasn't. Someone else did it, right?
Usually, like Chris is mentioning there, a good thing to bring up is I sometimes feel I'm 10 years ahead of the game on some of this stuff. I mean, people thought I was insane for doing a live streaming DJ show. Who's going to want to watch that? Number one. Number two, who's ever going to use QR codes? I couldn't stop talking about them in 2010. People thought I was nuts. I'm like, no, dude, these are going to change the world. They're going to be everywhere. They're going to be everywhere.
Everything is a QR code now.
But even like silent disco, I didn't invent that technology, but I just would definitely want to bring it to the forefront. Our mobile studio. Oh, don't ask me about my floating billboards on Lake Washington.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I own an advertising company outside of this too that does kind of ads with big companies and stuff, but crazy guerrilla marketing type stuff. So
that's so cool. So
I don't want to knock on anyone's game, but I don't know any other live streaming shows out there that have a mobile app. Or there now are some people that are doing some live streaming VR nightclubs. But there are things I can see in the industry. It's kind of like people pick up the baton, but how far do they make it down or around the track before they go, this isn't working out?
See, before we get fully transhuman
with it.
Before we go fully transhumanist, you should talk to Zuckerberg and just get in the metaverse and be like the metaverse's first, DJ live session show.
The big thing is that Daft Punk finally just entered the realm and did a full online thing in Fortnite. I didn't get a chance to take a look at it yet, but you had Marshmello in there, you had Travis Scott, you had all the big name, and they're getting 12 million people into these shows.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 million users at once. It's like, Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
And I think that's going to spawn a little bit more people's idea of going, hey, maybe we should do something more in VR. Maybe we should do
Yeah.
Yeah,
something there.
yeah.
But again, I had a VR nightclub 3 years ago. And the main thing that, if I can give any pointers out to anyone, make sure that you always have something going on. Make sure you have some content there, because I'll tell you the one big blunder, people build these awesome VR nightclubs. You go to it one time, you walk around, you're like, this is awesome. This is awesome. The only time you might come back if there's nothing going on is if you want to show a friend and go, come, let me check this room out.
Mhm.
Ours has something playing 24/7 in it.
Yeah.
You have a
Ours
reason to
have our
come.
live interviews with our live interview schedule. I have
Mhm.
syndicated shows that go in there. There will be record release parties, demo,
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff, meet and greets with celebrities inside there. So there's that I build it into my existing infrastructure, so it doesn't add any extra work. It's the same restream button that I hear here go boop. My shows go live everywhere. It goes live in
Yeah.
VR.
That's perfect.
So,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
It's
back
smart.
end tech stuff, but I
Yeah.
like it.
It's really smart to do, and like you're giving good advice, right? Like always be like, there's the big thing where this is apples to oranges with this, but I used to work with the event staff over at my college, and one of the things we used to do is we used to play music for some of the events, and I used to sometimes announce things, and our athletic director would always say, no dead air. That was his one rule: no dead air. You're at an event, there should be something going on, that if the attention's not during the play, then we still want their eyes to be, and ears to be perked up to what's going on. So, and that's kind of the concept it seems like you have. If you walk into that nightclub, you don't want there to be dead air. You want to give them a reason to maybe at least check it out a little more, or maybe fix their eyes here and stay for a little while, because the longer they're there, the better it looks for you, the more traction you might get.
That's what happens is it has all the counters and tells how many people are in each world. If you're familiar
Yeah.
with, we use Oculus and we're in VR chat.
Okay.
We
I've
work.
never used any of it, but it seems
Oh,
really
it's
cool.
fun stuff. It's fun. But yeah, we just want to make sure that there's something always changing, always going on. And I mean, there's enough content. I'm getting ready to do there's a whole rebrand going on with us, hence the new blue screen with the new logo, updated
I like
logo.
that logo. Logo's sick.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun when it's animated too. It's really cool. It's kind of like a camera lens.
Nice.
Okay.
It goes out and comes
Yeah.
in the world. There's a world behind it that spins and all that fun
There you
stuff.
go.
But we're getting. I just brought on a bunch of brand new international partnerships
Nice.
that are like household
Nice.
names. We got some other bigger names coming to the board. I just brought on a really kick-ass PR guy who we're really excited to be working with. We're coming back out of the Phoenix out of the ashes kind of story coming out, because I just got off an 8.5 month hiatus. I had to
Oh,
break.
really?
Yeah, I stopped. Last year I was in Berlin for Rave the Planet. Never had been to an event like this where I was on the back of a double-decker semi-bus. There's 24 of these, by the way. We're on number 25.
Oh my God.
350,000 people in Berlin for 8 hours driving around with a nightclub sound system on the back of each of these semi-trucks.
Yeah.
That's
Bars
so sick.
too. And people partying out in the streets of Berlin. And we took, number one in the world for like 6.5 hours. Just
That's
like
awesome.
on Twitch. And it's like, all right, cool. And I came back from that. It was my 50th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. I just turned 51 though. And
Happy second birthday.
thank you. And I kind of was like, what do I do from here? Like, where am I going? What's going on? Like, what do I do with the brand? Like, is another interview going to do anything for me? There was some other business stuff that I had going on. Just a lot of, I was in this molasses, almost writer's block kind of
So
phase.
we caught you at the perfect time. Look at that.
I mean, just in the last, so I went through that, thought it was going to be 2 weeks, thought it was going to be 2 months, hit the holidays. I'll do this after the year. I'll get back. I'll start back.
Yep.
I didn't sit in this chair, literally sit in this chair for 8.5 months.
Wow.
I mean, I'd come in, check emails, some back end stuff, but nothing I mean, just dropped off the face of the planet, literally.
Yeah.
After Rave the Planet, I dropped off the face of the planet.
You trek the planet and you're done.
Yeah, I came back in May and was like, okay, we got to start the fires back up. We got to get this going. And it took a little bit of time. I got a few emails back from people that when I send out my invites, I send out a massive amount of invites for people to be on the show and all that stuff. But I had people come back going, why would I want to be on your show? You haven't done anything for 8.5 months. And I was like, fair enough.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that, hey, look at my track record, though. I got 2,500 episodes. I've been doing this for 16 years. If you can't see these kids at home, And, I think y'all know what that was, the double barrels. It's
Yeah,
like, come on.
yeah.
But funny enough, I just did an interview. That interview I did with the person in Amsterdam, Martin Jensen, who I did with yesterday morning. His interview was actually queued up in my Final Cut Pro. And I had never finalized the edit of it from like September of last year. I mean, I did it a few months back, but I realized I'm like, I never published this interview. Now, if you don't know Martin, let me just drop a number: 5 billion downloads.
Wow.
Like, he's big. This is not one you just sleep on.
Nah, he's okay, I guess.
And so I was very fortunate that Martin came
Wow.
back and was like, yeah, he'll be do an interview with this. I work really well with his PR team, and just really getting back out there. I know where our numbers are going to go. I've been doing this for a while, that I know it's going to we have a slow build pattern ready to ramp up to be one of the top 10 shows back in the live streaming realm again. And,
but it's one of those things too, where it's like, when you're inviting people, it's kind of like, yes, you haven't done anything in a little bit, but like you said, you have to look at the track record, and it's kind of like, there's a way to say no, right? Like, there's a way, like, you don't want to burn that, because if there's a chance that Darran Bruce, who has been one of the best live streamers on the planet before, goes back to being that, you may want to be on his show if you're in his industry, where now they're going to come calling, or their peer team's going to come calling, and you're going to be, why would I want to have you on my show?
I literally had somebody last week or the week before. I posted something on Facebook. I'm notorious for vague booking. And if you're watching,
Vague.
okay, no, literally, I post vague stuff on Facebook because I learned out of 2020. I'm not paranoid, but a lot of people were calling me, asking me how to get advice on to do their own live streaming show. And I had a policy that I'd give away 98% of my information away to people for free. Like, hey, I'm helping you out. We're helping us out. We're helping the industry grow, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But then when I saw that and everyone was helping out, they weren't wanting to work with me. They just wanted to take my ideas and go do it themselves.
Which that's so
I'm like, well, what the fuck, dude? Okay, cool. So I stopped. I brought it down to about 97%. And yeah, I still vague book online because there's shit that I can't say because people can either A, talk shit and ruin the deal for me, B, take my idea and run with it. And I need to make sure my infrastructure is ready to roll and move. And, it's like, yeah, but this person, very well-named person, well-known person, I won't say their name, although I already did 3 times in this show, and it wasn't Martin Jensen. So you just have to go back and listen, which we always like that because it's another download for you guys, right?
There you go.
So, basically came on board and started kind of gave me a little bit of shit and said, why do you post like this? And I literally, when somebody comes at me like this, and especially when you're up there, okay, you're up there and you come on somebody's and you're not necessarily talking shit, but you're kind of just talking a little
You can tell the way
shit.
some's saying something.
Yeah,
right?
And I came in and I go, oh, you want to play Darran Bruce Facebook thesis time? Okay. And my first rule was, it's my fucking Facebook, dude. I can post however I want to. There's no rules. I mean, I don't see any rules of posting.
Oh, the people that love to police like posts and Facebook, it's like, kick rocks, man.
I'm like, okay, whatever. So I just went down the line and was like, whatever, dude, And funny enough, I had somebody else. I must have just been a week of people freaking the fuck out or something. About 5 days later, I had somebody else who I really revered in the local scene here in Seattle. And I just put a post that I have this new venue that I'm working on, that I'm getting ready to blow it up. It's going to be really awesome. The shit I can throw into it because I can do this and I can do this. And anyone that knows me over the years that has followed me, even on Facebook land, watching the DJ sessions morph into what it does and do, knows, oh, I know what he's going to do at this place. I know exactly what he's going to do. Oh, fuck. And he has it all to himself and controls everything that goes on there 100%. And it has
you're not full of shit, right? Like, you're not going to say it, and you're not full of shit. You're not going to say it.
Well, no, I'm not going to say it if I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm just going to tell him where it's at so somebody doesn't go try to steal my fucking contract. I'm fucking stupid? No. Come on. So I basically, all that happened, people were congratulating me, like little things. Yeah. And I'm like, thank you. You never know who's watching.
Yeah.
And somebody had literally said, is it this location? That's all they said. Is it this location? And I came back and I said, no, smiley face.
Mhm.
Like, no, like,
Yeah.
good guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all it was.
Mhm.
I get a message like 12 hours, 24 hours later from somebody that's pretty prominent, been around in the scene here. He says, I could find it. I could read it to you word for word. I'm just going to paraphrase. Basically came in and it did say this. First three letters, WTF in all caps. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
And it says, that's really shitty that you're shitting on another place that went under in Seattle. Blah, 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 blah. You being a business owner. It starts attacking me. And I come in, I'm like, huh?
Yeah, like, what?
Well, what are you talking about? And right now, you got to remember, I just came off that other conversation about being attacked by somebody very
Yeah.
large in the electronic music community. And I kind of just went, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah. You're
And I
already
just
in the
laid
mood.
it into him. I started going all caps. I said, how dare you come to me? All I said was no with a smiley face. And you're
Yeah.
coming at me sideways like that. And then he tried to backpedal. Then he tried to basically narcissistically gaslight me like I shouldn't have gotten so upset with it. I'm like, fuck you, buddy. You came into my fucking
It's so
thread, treading on my shit when it was a happy
Oh,
fucking joke.
God. So can I give some people advice on
Don't
Facebook?
do that.
Well, here's the thing. Number one, don't do that. Number two, all Facebook messengers now have the call feature. Okay?
Yeah.
Talk to people because via text, shit could get misconstrued, right?
Yeah.
And if you see somebody's comment and you think it's some type of way, don't type to them.
Also,
Call them. And then, because you don't need to have someone's number anymore to call them now with Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
And then you can verbalize, and things are very different when you are speaking. You can hear the way people are saying things.
And the person should have known me and my demeanor for years, knowing I would never. I'm such a fan of small business. I hate it when I see a nightclub. I hate it when I see something go out of business in our town or somebody fold or go under, and would do anything I could to help in the sense that I would want to, to be literally attacked. And I'm just like, I don't need this shit no more. I'm not cocky. I'm not conceited. I'm just like,
And the best way to do it, like all he had to do.
have a nice day. We're gonna put this on a T-shirt, by the way. You guys are gonna be able to buy one. Have a nice
Oh,
day.
I want one. I 100% want one. But
Yeah.
even if like the question was like, he should have presented it as, "Hey, did you know that this place went under?" Right? Like, ask, like, did you know that
absolutely.
they went
Everyone
under?
in town knows it went under. But I was simply no, dude. No, it was way. We're talking.
Yeah,
We're talking. Somebody might think that I'm on that side of the fence when it comes to some politics. Going, dude, do you even look at the color of my skin, bro? Like, you see who I work with in the industry and these people. What the whoa? It blew me away. So I'm just like, no, put the foot down, and I just won't placate to that kind of shit anymore.
Well, when
And
people
somebody
are
said,
attacking, people feel
it's like there's no. It's not uncommon for people when they get up into certain positions that people think they're rude. It's no, you're not rude. You're just not going to gaslight me and get me into that. And you're trying to get me to be rude. But yeah, I'm going to go right back to your face. Get out of my face.
But
Leave me
people
alone.
also feel like it's okay to attack if it's online. Like it is okay to be a douche if it's online because they'll act ways and they'll say things they would never do in person, right? Because that same person will see you again somewhere in the nightclub and just be like, "Oh, Darren," and then it's like, "No, get away from me." If you're gonna be some type of way online, keep that same energy, right? Like if you don't want to associate with me there, you think I'm a bad person. Maybe wave at me and walk away. But don't because that's people get very, they get very worked up very easily online.
I'm the good weird kind of person, not the bad weird kind of person. I saw that on a meme the other day. Be the good weird person. Don't be the bad weird person. And a good friend of mine, Kazan, he always goes, Darren, it's just you're always really weird and he can't ever figure you out. I'm like, who cares? I figure myself. I live my life just great.
What's wrong with being weird?
What's wrong with being weird? I'm a dork. I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. Yeah.
Everybody. Here's the thing. Everyone's weird. It's those that are trying to be normal that are the actual weirdos, right? Like, because everyone. Just be yourself, and we're all a little bit fucking weird. As long as you embrace what you are, have fun. Like, do you embrace what you are? Be a weirdo, and just enjoy. As long as you're not harming or hurting somebody else, have a good time.
Well, I have 4 rules. 4 rules. When you do business with me, relationships, anything, don't lie, cheat, steal, or cut off my dick.
So I can't be Eddie Guerrero. We steal. I don't know if you're a wrestling fan. Dave and I are both wrestling fans.
No, what did Eddie Guerrero do?
Eddie Gray, his whole
that
thing
was
with
his
the
whole
Latino Heat,
motif. Yeah,
it was a
yeah, his whole
motif,
theme
and
song was "I lied, cheat, steal." Shit.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's just like kind of a thing that I have in business. It's the kind of thing I have in
I mean, that's
personal life. It's
pretty
like I don't,
basic.
and I don't have to worry so much that I'm covering up for shit
Yes.
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
for working shady. I mean, I do all my deal. It's funny enough, you'll think people, I'll come with them with a deal on paper and put a contract or an agreement down. And then they want to think that I'm the one that's being shady because I'm putting it on paper. And I'm like, no, this is making sure we both know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
And that's
And
like,
we can
but
hold
I
each
feel
other
like-
accountable.
We have something we can always go back to and be like,
Yeah.
oh, no, this is what we agreed to.
And I feel like that's just like
Exactly.
such a weird thing with like the current, like, people are like scared to do those types of things when it's like, but I can't, it's not that I don't trust you, it's that I don't know your character if shit hits the fan. Nobody knows what, like, when shit, because things may hit the fan, and now we need something that says where we both belong and what are our responsibilities if this goes on. And
You
that
just
is a
also never
fair
know
thing
when
to do.
people might
And
change.
something that just set the DJ sessions 2 years back, a few years ago, was I got into a business arrangement with a business partner. Luckily, I was smart and I owned the company 51%.
There you go.
But let's just say, I'm not going to discuss too much of it here. Let's just
Yeah,
say it's going to be a
fine.
bad day in Bosnia for him.
Oh, that sucks.
It's not a fun day. Maybe that's too close to home. Maybe that's not a good term to use anymore. I got that
It's
one out
fine.
of Fight Club. Or no,
It's
I think I got that one out of Snatch, the movie Snatch. Jason Statham says it.
Yeah.
So
Jason Statham's fantastic. But
Yeah.
so one thing I want to ask you is, as the times progress, is it a goal of yours to always try to stay ahead? And is it because you have very much been ahead, or is that just a natural knack that you have, that you see something that you think could be good and then you pursue it?
Here's the one thing I haven't cracked yet. Now everyone else go out there and figure this out, augmented reality. When that hits the market, I want to be on top of that before it gets out there, because I think augmented reality is going to surpass virtual reality.
Yes.
And yeah, the Meta glasses coming out. Okay, Google glasses, get this shit out of here. No, when it gets to really a good version, we might. I don't know how far out I'd like to say we are. I don't go to enough consumer electronics shows. I wish I did. But
Well, I know they're saying, like, for like the haptic rigging and stuff, we're still really far away for haptic technology to be like feasible. Like, they have
Yeah.
some like very rudimentary versions where you can kind of get poked and it feels like a very rough poke. But in order to make it like where you're fully in like Ready Player One style,
oh no,
I was
I'm
seeing
not worried
something
about
that
the
we're like,
haptics. Yeah,
yeah, that we're like rather far away from something to be
No.
like fully immersive in that sense.
One of the things I did with our silent disco headsets, if you want to think future forward, a lot of people think, oh, I put these headsets on, but I can't feel the bass like I do in the club. Boom, boom.
Mhm.
I went with my headsets. I don't know if other headsets have this, but ours do. They have an input-output port. I can put that headset into a haptic speaker, little ring. We use the
That's
Woogers.
really cool.
Yeah.
Put the ring on, and the ring goes with the bass
doesn't
of the
get-
music. And as you change the channel, it goes
Yeah,
with you, so you can feel the music. And literally, you get the puppy dog effect.
Yeah.
You take that thing off, and you're like, I can't feel the music anymore. I want it back on.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to get a big vest for anyone and have them
Yeah, no, you don't want to be too
Strap.
over encumbered. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so
we have a
I'm
comment
looking
here.
forward for future of that type of stuff. AI is great. I see.
Yeah, Caveat Ties wants to know,
Ties
what do
in
you want to
there.
do? What about AI?
I use AI for my own personal work, not to
Yes.
create anything.
Mhm.
In the sense of like my show notes for my show. Hey, you put them over there. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I use AI as my transcriber tool for all my shows. It goes in and reads it, and, goes, and I
It's
can
a
break it
useful
into edits.
tool.
Mhm.
As a tool.
Yes.
We've joked around about having an AI avatar for my show and say, hey, what does Darren say
Yeah.
today? Like a Matt Bedroom kind of thing, and just having some fun with that is kind of a funny thing. But you know what? I try to stay away from the gimmicks. And
Yeah,
when I say stay away from the gimmicks is, I saw this happen. We did them in the early days of our show. Yes, we played with the green screen, with the DJs, with the visuals. Look how funny it looks in the background. Very rudimentary stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted a clean show. Our show, if anyone sits there, unless you're watching what I say a masterpiece of a DJ set like Circle, which is like Norn and Pure Circle episode, or Up in the Mountains or something like that, and you're like, damn, that's some beautiful visuals. That's really fun. Most DJ shows, I'm going to say this, and I know the guy who kind of broke through on this, Nobody sits here and does this. Wow, you turned a knob.
Yeah.
Wow, that was an awesome crossfade. Now they might be over in the chat room and they're getting
Mhm.
that interact. Okay, that's great.
Mhm.
But you can break that chat room out and be watching a movie on the side if you want to and be chatting with your friends who are in the chat room. You don't have to be watching the DJ set. Most DJ shows are, and that's what they got. How do they evolve out of that? Again, it's not to tear down anyone. I know some good friends of mine that do these DJ shows that just played TwitchCon. And, what do you got outside of that? Are you branding yourself? Are you merching yourself? Are you getting booked for shows?
Mhm.
What is your end goal with all this?
Yeah.
What you could do. I mean, I can take my brand. I'm getting ready to go back with my brand, not the DJ sessions, but relaunch 6 or 7 out of 10 television episodes that I used to have approved on 10, 13 network stations on the West Coast.
That's
And
awesome.
can do that out of a new studio facility that I'll have and go boom, 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 and build that all up. Who's doing anything like that?
Mhm.
And that gets me back to my roots, which is already in my infrastructure to just flip a couple switches and go, it's on.
Yep.
It's on.
Mhm.
It's on. It's not this massive thing because I'm pigeonholed into one genre or one thing, and put it on the map. I mean, but again, I do think that VR and AR are going to have its thing. I guess I don't know what's after that plane on the moon.
There's always something.
There's always something.
And
I always said
sometimes
I
you
wanted
just
to be
don't
the
see it
first
coming.
live streaming DJ on Mars, live streaming DJ show on Mars. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but
What are you coming to do from now, Darren? Mars.
Yeah.
Hi.
You should create a true a hovercraft platform and do a first ever DJ show on a platform above the earth.
We were going to do the first ever DJ show from a hot air balloon, but then 2 weeks later, somebody else freaking did it during COVID.
What about from a blimp? Recreate the Hindenburg where it was a luxury blimp, where it had a ballroom and everything.
Not the event.
No, not the event. No, here's the funny part about the Hindenburg. It went down in the borough of our town, our hometown. Lakehurst is the borough of our hometown, Manchester.
Oh, wow.
So we're famous. That's what Lakehurst is famous for. We destroyed the Hindenburg. We suck. But no, I feel like that would be something no one's ever done because the Hindenburg was massive. It had a ballroom. It was like Titanic of the air. Do a in a massive blimp.
It would that would be kind of cool. That would be really cool.
And just have as the blimp's going up, have the lights be flashing through the fucking blimp as it's flying above Washington. Just be like, hey, this is going to be the first ever show that travels 1,500 miles while it's on.
Well, okay, so that funny you bring that up.
Well, in the air.
when I got the mobile studio, one of the first ideas that came up, actually, funny enough, if you're all geeks, you'll love this. I got a segment on Kevin Smith's Smodcast.
Oh, nice.
He first launched his Smodcast, yeah. And they ran a little segment on us because I just got the truck and I wanted to do the DJ sessions, the freeway sessions, the fastest moving DJ show in the world. And you can go, if you go to our ITV channel, you can probably get the audio from it. I have it up there somewhere, ITVNW/ITVNW, or just type in Kevin Smith ITV, the letter ITV, and it should come up. But funny enough, they did this little plug for us that we got on his show. And he goes, that's a really good fucking idea. Well, Kevin, you won't stop talking about this damn ambulance and making it a mobile podcast studio. And this sounds like Darren and them are already on top of this, basically, in a nutshell. I was like, thanks, Kevin. That was really cool. The fastest moving DJ. We've done some stuff with the truck before. There's footage. You can go back and watch our show with our truck driving down the freeway. I know
David's trying to find it right now. He's internet sleuthing over there as we speak.
I have to figure out a perfect episode for you to get to, but
he's probably trying to find the Kevin Smith one right now. That's
Kevin,
trying to find that.
It should pop up.
Maybe it should, but it's just giving me Kevin Smith stuff because Google doesn't know how to be useful anymore.
Here. I can maybe do this.
Yeah, you could pull some things up. Just let us know if you want to share.
Yeah, ITVNW, and then go videos, and then come on,
exactly.
He's
Kevin Smith. I'm not a fan of yours anymore.
Damn it, Kevin.
Hang on here. Hang on. Let's keep talking. I'll see if I can find it.
Of course.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. A lot of everything of what you do right now in terms of DJ sessions and you were well ahead of the game with live streaming, but streaming services are one attack away, one DDoS attack away from going down. And it's always a fear of things, especially with how many podcasts there are and everything going on. Like, look at us. Here we are. We're taking up bandwidth here, right? Is there ever a fear of like the streaming services just going away? And what would you do in order to kind of mitigate that?
Oh, you know what's going to fuck everyone up? I've been trying to tell people this for years and they just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. If you aren't creating original content online and you're using live streaming or podcasting services to not produce your own content, prepare to be done. Prepare to be done. They are going to come down, clamp on it. It's going to make it through, and they're going to go, no copywritten material. The only reason people are getting away with it on certain platforms, which shall not be named, is because of the way the laws are written right now.
And you think they're going to get rid of fair use? You think that's going to be?
It's not even fair use. It's you do. It comes down to the actual rights, and while the platform might have the rights to stream it, and do it, the person that's performing does not have the performance rights to do that. That's why you go to Twitch and it literally says, and I've been saying this for years, people. It says no DJ sets. It says no karaoke performances in their terms and conditions. Now, granted, Twitch is not going to care if they have to cut half their music division out because they're losing the DJs, because they got 250,000 people in World of Warcraft and they got 25,000 people in the music section.
Yeah.
They just made every DJ that wanted to sign up and put the DJ moniker onto their name, made them sign a secondary agreement saying you will only use your content, you will only use content from our authorized library.
Yeah.
DJs still aren't doing that. They're still out there doing it. And Facebook and YouTube both have active monitoring. And they detect
that's
it.
kind of where Vivo came from with YouTube, right? Because they were tired of people stealing the videos and putting it on. And then Vivo was the official, right? These are the Vivo videos of the artist is working through them. And like you said, it's still there. People still upload the videos and stuff, but they've cracked down on that much more. And I know Vivo just kind of popped up out of nowhere and then people started using it. But I think it was the same thing to crack down on everyone just ripping music videos and sharing them and the artist getting nothing at all from it.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, that's what people, I can't say some things. I can say some things. I can't say some things. But let's just say, I can tell you if Facebook and YouTube, Google have active monitoring, Twitch is listening to everything that's going out there.
Of course.
They are listening to it. Even if they're doing it from calculating damages from a legal standpoint, even if they have back-end deals, say, hey, as long as this deal doesn't get made public, I don't know anything about this, so I see nothing.
Yeah,
But if they have a back-end deal with the label, say, hey, we're monitoring all this, we will give you a percentage of the back end, but you can never announce this deal going public. We are listening for you to make sure you're getting a cut of some of our commercial prop, blah, 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 blah. And that way the labels and everyone don't attack them. Now,
what about a show like yours where, because I know a lot of this stuff is AI and a lot of this stuff is AI triggered and boom, it's red light. I hear something. It's not on the official page. A show like yours, which has the artist performing live, they are doing their music. It's their music, but it's not on their page. Is there a way where someone like you who wants to do that could contact Twitch? Because obviously you're not a no name on Twitch. You'll have inroads to Twitch support to be like, hey, I know you have this new shit coming down, or even if it was YouTube or Facebook, but this is what I do. The artists are there performing for me. Don't flag my freaking page.
Well, that's the thing is again, there's some things I can and can't.
Don't give away inside baseball. Don't get in trouble.
But the thing is it's really, if you're getting harsh takedowns, I mean, you're blatantly out there doing the bad deed. You're going to get taken down. Have they gone after anyone yet? No. I mean, that's when 2020 came out and the DJ shows all started popping up online. I'm not a DJ. I'm like, I switched my show format to more of an interview based format and getting exclusive mixes. And things of that nature. I still do my DJ session shows and all that stuff, but the centerpiece of it became more news. I wasn't doing an MTV, but because MTV just went out and I'm never going anywhere. So screw that idea.
Well, listen, MTV shot themselves in the foot when they had no shows with music videos on anymore.
Nothing,
You have a whole generation of people that grew up watching videos. If you just gave us a competent TRL, didn't even have to be good. Give us a competent TRL that we could also live stream somewhere. They would have at least stayed alive. They just had really bad shows on now. They just all sucked.
And so basically it's like, what's the future of live music streaming? You know, copyright isn't going to go anywhere. People are going to want their money. The labels are, the industry is going to want their money, you know. So when does it come down? Now, the difference between the one difference that Twitch has that everyone else doesn't have is the fact that you can accidentally let a video stream live to YouTube and Facebook and let it live there. Once you do that, you're totally breaking all licensing.
Yep.
Twitch, you can turn a little button off and go, do not capture this.
Yep.
Do not record this. You can't make clips of this either. That means you're just using them as a streaming platform. We were looking into that technology of what we would do if it shut down in 2020 because of the boom. And yes, we have our own servers, so no, can't be touched.
God, that's perfect.
Listen, the fact that you are so prepared, so ahead of the game, and so willing to, put capital, obviously, right? Because everything you're doing, you have to put capital into. It's like, it's not, nothing is free, right? Nothing is free.
Here's the Capital bank account right now. Is there some pennies? I think there's some pennies. There's a $50 bill in here. There you go. It was ripped in half. There. Can you see that? That's a real dollar bill. Do people even use real dollar bills anymore? I don't know. That's the corporate bank account. What do they say in Ghostbusters? Slow down, chew your food. This magnificent beast here, slow down, chew your food. This represents the last of the petty cash. I got a bus pass. I got a bus token. Here you go.
Hey, that's something.
This is my value. There's value there.
No, I'm just joking. I mean, it does take. I think time is the bigger investment that I've been blessed with. That a lot of people just don't get to do. They have to work a full-time job. They have full-time. They have hobbies. They have kids. They have life. They want to do things. And I know podcasters out there. One thing that I want to do to set myself apart from everyone else is, I'm not saying this is bad. This is a typical norm. One podcast a week. Okay, that's great. That's a lot for some people. Research, put it down, sit down, be in the studio. Okay, I got to do this. Got to get back and edit it. Blah blah blah. All that stuff. In 2 months' time, my goal is to be at 60 hours a month that I produce. By mid first quarter next year, I want to be at 100 hours a year or 100 hours a month of content. And that's pretty much me doing a lot of the, but we are planning to branch out and get reporters and people from all over the world. And, I have a big EU rollout next year, UK EU rollout with some of our partners, things of that nature, just to get out there a little bit more. Cause I don't like, this chair's fun, but I like Amsterdam. I like Berlin. I want to be in Ibiza. I want to be in Barcelona. You
want to be out in the places that have the shows and have a big, especially the scene is big there. I've always wanted to go to the Electric Daisy Festival. I've always wanted to go to Electric Daisy. It just looked like so much fun, but never had the opportunity. But I mean, it's such a the scene is still going. I feel like it's still there, but I feel like one of the things that hurt the EDM scene is now every pop song, every rap song is an EDM song. Like at their heart, like it used to be the pop artist made a song, the DJ cut it, made it into a club song, right? The rapper made the rap song and then the DJ cut it, made it into a club song. Everything is so club ready now. And part of me hates that it's all just club ready.
Not only is it club ready, the bigger thing is all the major music festivals are now trending as electronic music is outperforming everything else.
Yeah.
Rock music, all that fun stuff. 2, songs are now shorter. You don't get 6-minute songs anymore in electronic music.
Well, they don't do 3 verses anymore. It used to be 3 verses, at least 2 verses and a real breakdown. Now it's 2 verses, maybe 3 choruses and done. So instead of your 3.5, 4 minute, 6-minute songs, they're all 2.5 to 3 minutes. Like you said, it's not.
I had 4 DJs on my truck last Friday, and 2 of them sent me set lists of probably 25 to 30 songs they played in 1 hour.
What?
Yeah, in 1 hour.
That's one Tiesto song. That is one Tiesto song, okay?
Right, exactly, right? And then one of the guys who plays, they're all awesome. They're all phenomenal. One of the guys, he sends me 12 tracks, and I'm like, that's how I remember it.
Yeah.
I was having fun the whole time. I mean, that was great, but I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. And granted, our medium is not necessarily a nightclub medium because we're driving around the city streets while we're doing this. So a person's really only going to hear about 35 seconds to 45 seconds of a song. Yeah. But still, it was just, yeah, I looked at these set lists. I'm like, I gotta copy and paste all these. No, it's cool. They
That's
were
why
really
you like the
great.
12 one better.
Oh, by the way, did you check your private chat? I found
David, did you
something
look?
for you.
No,
David,
I'm
I thought
sorry.
you
I
would
was
see it.
looking on the other screen. I didn't see it.
Useless, David. You're
That's
useless.
my B. That's my B. That's my B.
That's it. What are you here producing for?
Terribly.
But yeah, no, I love the ideas. I hope you steal some of my ideas because I want to see you go. Like,
he
no,
wants to
I'm
make
not
money,
even
though.
kidding. I tell everyone, go if you like any of the dumb ideas I have, go for it. Oh, let's see. What do we got?
I don't know.
TV, aka Independent Television, is a broadcast television internet series that features independent artists from around the world. You can watch it on their website, www.itvnw.com. itvnw.com.
Hear the music. Does he play any music from you?
Subscribe
I'm not sure.
to the shows through the iTunes Music Store and stream it to your mobile device via Ustream or Livestream. ITV Live is one of the fastest growing internet stations on the web. So they're an internet station just like us. These guys are smart, man. Like this.
There you go.
Do other networks advertise on other networks?
I don't know, but I love TV and I love the internet.
This makes sense to me. ITV Live is one of the fastest growing internet stations on the web. Since its inception, we have 9 hours of programming streamed live every week, going to 17 hours by the end of May and up to 30 hours by the end of August. These cats are doing like we.
Yep.
Yeah, man. We're all growing together. A lot of room out here. Just don't get into my territory. My site's ITV. Currently, new shows air every Wednesday and Thursday. ITV Live was recognized by Apple as a new and noteworthy podcast twice, bitch,
Very cool.
within 2 days of its inception, and is a featured Ustream and live stream feed available for viewing on mobile devices like iPhone, Blackberries, etc. They're going to be
Oh, the
launching a new
Blackberry.
series starting in May of 2011. That's this month, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're in May of 2011. Right now in the present, called ITV Live, the Freeway Sessions, the fastest moving DJ show in the world. That sounds
Yes.
fun. ITV Live will take its mobile studio to the road, putting DJs in the studio playing and streaming live while driving down some of America's most notable freeways,
I love the
reaching
graphics.
speeds of up to 70 miles per hour. This is a good fucking idea.
That
I mean, it's
sounds
not
fun.
good. You can strike somebody driving that fast.
Right. I'm sure I'll be driving very carefully.
Me and Muse are talking about, like, Muse wants to buy this ambulance. He's like, we can deck
Oh
it
my
out.
God, this fucking ambulance.
Take
I don't
this
want to hear any
ambulance.
more about the
He found this
ambulance.
dude is
I really don't.
auctioning an ambulance online. He's like, I could trade him a laptop for an
I
ambulance.
know. Have we not turned into enough of a
This is what he
circus?
wants to
Now we
do.
need to buy an ambulance.
He wants to turn the ambulance into a roving studio so we can just drive around podcasting. I'm like, dude, how much do you have to say? He's lots. He's ready to talk. I'm over.
He just wants an ambulance.
He does that too. ITV Network was started in 2005 to provide an accessible
Really
medium
cool
for independent
promo.
artists and
This is
businesses to reach
awesome.
large audiences without the help of major record labels or movie and television studios. Man, good call. Smart. There you go.
You like that?
That's where the puck's going, bitch. Not you, just the world. Go to itvnw.com today and check out what independent TV has to offer. You're listening to it. Just go right now. Go to your browser, itvnw.com. We'll wait. Have you done it?
I am
Not
just-
gonna- I'm talking to the audience.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Dave. You could pop. Darren, did you have to send him that stuff in? Did he ask you to like send them a whole bunch
Yeah,
of
I gave him notes and all that. Yeah, some of it obviously you can tell. I think what was ad lib and
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
Of
not.
course.
But,
I know you
uh,
put in the part about the ambulance, but
No, I kind of got this email from his team, and they had just launched his Smodcast. I think we were on like episode number 9 or episode number 12 when he just did that in 2011. And I was like, this would be really cool. Let's do this.
Yep.
You know, and I love Kevin Smith. I love like Clerks and Mallrats, all that fun stuff.
Dogma.
Jay and Silent Bob. And I really love their indie approach to films because I was a film maker for a hot second in college. Kind of how I launched my first television show, Phantasmagoria, was based off of the short films, and figured out I could put my short film on broadcast TV and have 11,000 people watch it rather than putting it into some film festival and having nobody watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
25 people in a room
Yeah.
watch it, and that was the only place to screen.
Mhm.
You know, but yeah, that was fun stuff. I forgot that went as long as it did. Sorry about that.
No,
Nah,
it was
it's fine.
cool. It was awesome. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's
But,
not every day you get to hear like Kevin Smith, you know, pimping out your stuff like that. That's
Mhm.
really cool, and especially Kevin hasn't done as much lately. He's been a lot more behind the scenes stuff and things like that. But at the time of 2011, he was still he was big into the comic shop too. His comic shop was massive. I think he was doing the TV show too out of his comic shop at that time and things like that. So Kevin was really at the forefront there still. So that's really cool stuff.
Thank you.
So Darran, what else can you tell us that you have going on next? Anything you can tell us now that maybe is going on with the DJ sessions, outside of the DJ sessions? What can you reveal from your pot of gold?
I'd say that goal of like the 60 hours of content a month, ramping up to 100 hours of content a month. If things go exactly the way that I want them to, which they probably will, we might be doubling those numbers.
I
love easily. That. I mean, and it'll be like, well, that's the guy to do it. Because I'm stupid enough to attempt it.
You got to attempt it, right? Because what's the worst that happens? You fail, then you're doing something else, right?
Yeah.
Well, like then I get up there and I start doing every episode, and I become the artist, and I become the live comic, and I become the open mic comedian, and then I become the DJ.
You're just basically like you're Eddie Murphy in one of his movies. You are.
There you go. Exactly. There you go. There you go.
So
maybe
we have
to come over and be like, "What's up, dude? Can you do some stand up for me, bro?"
Yeah, sure.
I watched you since Delirious. I memorized Beverly Hills Cop. Come on.
We got to do our penance every episode. Caveat Ty saying, "Have you ever heard of Criticless?"
No.
So it is a website that was created by a former guest of ours, Blaine Andrews. He's not a big fan of Rotten Tomatoes, the premium, the way that they do it. So he decided to create an app and website where it's all the fans. They go on, they can leave reviews of movies, TVs, things like that. He's going to open it up to video games as well. And it's almost like a social media where you leave your comment, you can rate it 0 to 100. And then people can also comment on it. From everything I've seen, it's one of the coolest places around. No one's a bunch of dicks. Like, if they don't like something, they'll just be like, boo you. But it's not like attacking. But definitely go check it out. They have their catalog is gigantic. So criticalist.com is really cool. So caveat, I did my penance. Okay. He's always there to make sure that I get asked every guest to go on Criticalist, because Criticalist is a cool place. It's cool. If you like film and stuff like that, you can go and rate it and then go over there, and anything new, you can at least go get more opinions outside of everywhere else. So it's a cool spot.
Nice.
So that is my unpaid solicitation of Criticalist. Blaine, I hope you love it. But anyway, Darran, this was really cool, man. I appreciate you. Oh no, what do we got? Oh
yeah, I want to show off the website.
Show the DJ sessions. Let's pimp it. That thing's on.
I actually was on my phone going on the website, and I think this broke my phone for a second.
Whoops.
It was trying to load it, and it was having a tough time. So.
Well, that doesn't sound good. I have to go talk to the devs here after I get off.
Yeah, it might have been my phone. I was at work, and the internet's not great there.
Oh, okay.
So that list right there. Hold on, Dave. Go back up. That is just some of the people you have talked to.
Yeah.
Like I said, Lindsey Sterling's on there. I saw Steve Aoki's on there. Did he hit you with a cake?
If we did not get the birthday cake, and I didn't get the interview with him, I had somebody else do it while I worked the camera for that one. But yeah, he was really cool. I actually asked him to party backstage with him. And I was like, nah, I gotta go. Sorry.
Hey, listen, Asian Jesus is one of the people that I friggin' loved watching. His sets were always so friggin' good. But you have so many names on there. So it's do you look at that sometimes and go, damn, I really talked to that?
It's funny you bring that up, because just the other day when I was going back to the Wayback Machine of giving one of our new syndicated artists kind of a tour over the what we kind of walked through in this episode. Here, I looked back and saw when this site went live in 2018, how small that list was. And I think it was just because I was building it out and I hadn't gone back and added all the names to it yet. I was just moving forward with what I had at the time. And I'd say it was probably about an eighth of what is there. Maybe the first like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines down. I try to put the newer episodes up top, and the later episodes get bounced down.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you can kind of go through the history of the show.
What I like about this is you do it that way instead of, because I feel like a lot of people that are probably like trying to like chase people, like they would put Steve Aoki up top, they would put Lindsey Sterling up top, they would put the Crystal Method up there, right? Like people that like names that are really well known. But I just love the way that it's like, no, this is how they came on the show. This is the order they're going in, and I feel like that just it's just equal opportunity. When someone comes on their show, they know they're not going to be shuffled down into like the small letters. They're
Mhm.
going to be able to be there and in the spot that they came on. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And I mean, it just keeps growing and getting bigger and better. And I'm super excited. Like I said, I wish I could drop some of the names right now. Just even if I gave you, I'll give you guys off camera. I
Okay.
won't tell you who it is, but if you see who
Mhm.
we're partnering with, you'll be like, "What the fuck is Darran about to do?" I'm like, I still sit back and say, "What the fuck am I about to do?" There's a couple little hints in there. There's some Easter eggs in there. If you look at what we've been working on, those are our latest mobile episodes that we
Yep.
just did with Course and Zeb and
Mhm.
Claremont Welding
Mhm.
Crew.
So have you ever considered doing like instead of a silent disco or silent event, like silent metal? Because I would just love to see so many different
Very
groups of
interesting.
metalheads just
That's
banging out,
very
You know,
but then
the toughest,
nothing around, but them just going insane.
the toughest thing would be here's how you do that. You know exactly how I do that? Rolling V drums. Everything else you could work in with silent disco, plug them into a board, guitars, bass guitars, vocals,
Yeah,
everything.
Mhm.
But you get the Roland V drum set and you are good to go. Someone knows how to use them and play on them, then boom, that would be amazing. But people would still, I still want to feel the music.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
hey, people, I got a secret for you out there. You ready for this? 98% of the world listens to music and shows through headphones now.
I mean,
Come
listen, I
on.
don't care if I had, classic corn just full blaring through my speakers and I'm just able to be in my corner headbanging, I'd be happy.
But you can't. The thing is, I tell people too, you're not really comparing apples and oranges. It's a consumption
No.
method that's different.
Yeah.
If you try to say it's like this, well, okay, a car is not a boat. Go drive your car on the
No,
water, see if it's going
no.
to float.
Yeah.
It's
Good
yes,
luck.
they're both transportation devices, but they're not the same thing.
Well, it's very different, right? It's like, okay, if I go to a football game, I'm watching the football players live. If I'm watching it at a bar on the massive screen, okay, it's a
Yeah.
little bit better. If I'm sitting at home, I'm comfortable on my 60-inch or whatever. And they're all great experiences in their own way, but they are very, very different. You're experiencing things differently,
Mhm.
but doesn't mean that one is better or worse. They're just
Mhm.
different ways of doing it that can all be enjoyable, right? Like,
Totally.
so people love to compare. Now, Dave, I want you to go up to oh, where'd you go?
No,
I wanted you to go up to the DJ rankings because I wanted to see where we're at.
Oh,
Go to the
yeah,
DJ
that's
up
fun.
top,
That's
Dave, all
something
the
we
way up
just
top.
added too.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
kind
my
of
bad,
new
my
to the
bad.
site.
I want to
We
see
work
who's
and
our top DJ right now. What do we got?
compile, probably.
Watch
Well,
the
do you want me to say it or you want to see it?
Let's see it.
Scroll down a little bit. It's Mr. Getta.
See, I mean that only thing that's wrong is that Armin van Buren's 2. Armin van Buren is never 2. Okay.
Well, okay. This comes from we work with a company that helps compile that. We work with this. This is 2024 standings, by the way,
Okay.
not 2023. We just felt it was something to really be added.
It's
There's
cool.
notes on how we come up with this data
Mhm.
and put it there. It's from a lot of different things, and it's done very impartial. There's no favoritism.
Now, is this an
Fans-
all-time list? Is this just considered like all-time, or is it
2024, right?
current and it moves?
This is based on the data that gets fed into our computations.
Gotcha.
So no, this is an all time. This
Okay.
this will update in 2026 for 2025.
Very
Okay.
cool. Very cool.
So,
No, Dave. So go back down. I want to see.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
rest
if
of
you
it.
go all the way down to the bottom, it may say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh.
This list has
Oh, look
the
at that.
top
None of
should
those
have the
countries.
top 20,000 DJs in the world.
Gee.
Yeah,
Yeah, there
there's
you
a
go.
whole
23,006 DJs.
Swedish House
Now, where
Mafia.
do you find? Because obviously, Avicii tragically passed away a few years ago and things like that. Does he still make? Is he still up there? Because I know they are sometimes releasing some of the stuff that he had in the catalog and things like that.
Let's check. Let's see. You got this wonderful search feature. AVA.
Am I going crazy?
See.
Yeah.
No, he's not in there right now.
Yeah. Not that I see.
Oh, Flux Pavilion, though. I do love me some Flux Pavilion.
No, I don't think Avicii is in
And
there.
and I like that this is just all like it's not just a certain genre. Can you filter it by genre if you wanted to?
So that's a great question you asked. If you scroll down a little bit more, there is the pie chart.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's actually two versions of this. I haven't decided if I want to just display it here or if I want to keep it under the accordion up top.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
data is only pulled from the top 100 DJs in that list.
Gotcha.
I just have to go back with my programmers and say, okay, make me new pie charts with all of this. The problem is the data doesn't come in exactly how I want it to come in.
Got
I
it.
think it all come in an Excel spreadsheet and then go, build me out this. But yeah, it's interesting. But
Regardless, this is still really cool, and especially like,
It's
I'm
awesome.
not as like into EDM as I used to be, especially in
Mhm.
college and stuff. But like college me would have been fiending over this. I would have been watching it. I would have been probably commenting and like, but this is something fun if you're a big fan of
Mhm.
this genre to go and look at. This is cool to
Yeah, and
see
if you're just
where
like a
your
big
favorite person.
data head, like if you just like data and statistics, you'll probably just enjoy combing through this and saying, "Oh, where did
Yeah, it's
countries
just
go?"
like I said, it's just something more that what I've done with the site is we've really taken more of what I would call an international approach
Mhm.
Yeah.
to our brand, of really looking at it. Not that we weren't already doing that, but our site, if you went through it a few months ago, you kind of looked at it and it screamed big stuff on that front page, like what you just said and saw, and then it kind of went
Yep.
hyper local again. What I can't show you yet because we're saving it for the press release, but I can talk for a little bit about the show. Just some of the partnerships alone, you'll see the new direction that we're taking with the brand, and not that we will never forget about our core brand. Our core philosophy, though, is
Dave, go up to
working
memberships
with
real quick.
independent artists, working with DJs that they don't have to be the biggest DJ in the world. If they're up and coming, you never know who's going to be big, who's not going to be big, but they're all
Yeah,
still
yeah.
working so hard to be
Yes.
really great musicians and do their talented skills on what they do. Is that not working? Oh, that's my membership program.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at my
Yeah,
membership?
no, we want to go there because
You wanna go
I
there.
want to pimp that for
Oh,
you because I
Yeah.
want people to go. And if you like
thank
what
you.
you
I appreciate
hear,
that.
if you like what you
Um,
hear, absolutely go to the memberships
yeah,
and become a member. You're getting a lot of really good
here's
quality. Obviously, I think one of the things that people watching, listening here can understand and hear is Darran is working his ass off and he won't stop working. So you're gonna consistently, get a lot of good content. And if you're a fan of EDM, if you're a fan of this type of stuff, then absolutely go over there and do it.
well, the goal is to I'm in competition with so many other. I'm in competition. I remember when I took a marketing class, and they're like, "If you want to do your thing, what are you in competition?" Well, let's just go to straight live streaming or anything
Mhm.
online.
Yeah.
I'm in competition with social media. I'm in competition now with TikTok. I'm in competition with Netflix. I'm
Yep.
in competition, and if I do, to me as a producer, if I do one show a week, it's another week before somebody comes back to my site.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But if I have something going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday recap, or on my
Mhm.
Fridays, my mobile sessions are going on, or I have other segments coming in from around the globe that are always at least 2 episodes a day. I have over 700 news stories a month that aggregate into my site.
Yep.
So there's always, you're going to come back in the morning, the
Always something.
afternoon, the
Yep.
evening, wake up in the middle of the night. There's probably something new at the DJ sessions.
Mhm.
And again, getting out of the world of the blog environment where you're just reading, where that visual where you can, hey, I don't want you to fall asleep to my shows because I hope they're engaging, but you're going to put it on and be like, oh, I listened to that interview. I did not know that about so and so. I didn't know they just released a new album. Holy
Mhm.
crap. Like, what can I find out? And now that we're transcribing our shows, putting our show notes there, it makes it even much more SEO robust. One of the cool things I'm having built into the site is that little globe icon in the lower left-hand corner there. Go
Yeah.
ahead and click on that. Internally, our website can be
Whoa.
translated into over 100 different languages.
That's
Oh.
sick.
So not only do you now have our site and with those transcripts that can
Wow.
be translated into the different languages, our shows have closed captioning in English on them. I'm going to be building it out so that you're going to be able to have probably the top 10 languages in the world. You're going to click on that show. It'll be in English for now, but have the subtitles in another language.
That's so
And
friggin'
then
cool.
eventually we're going to go in with AI and AI voice over the shows as well. So that way it's a really multilingual platform website.
That's
You know,
this is really cool to play
This
with.
is
I'm not
Dave
gonna
was just
lie.
playing with it.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
we might not keep all those flags on there.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
fine.
kind of
But
a
it's
demo
sick. It
purposes
looks
right
cool.
now. But it's
So-
really cool. It's about a level 6 out of 10 translation. We could
Mhm.
get a little bit higher, but I just want to show. Biggest thing is who's going to pay for all this. I don't want the end user paying for it. Can I charge the artist for interviews? I know people in the industry do that. Publications do that. I don't want to do that. Shouldn't be the artist paying. Shouldn't be the guest or the end user paying.
Yeah.
Sponsorships are what we're looking
Yeah.
at, and they can afford to do that, reach our audience, and help us
What's their
stay on the
purpose,
air.
right? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why you sponsor something because you believe that it's going to be,
Yeah.
symbiotic. It's going to be they're going to work together and leech off of each other a little bit. So here's a question before we let you go. You've been gracious with your time, an hour and a half here. We appreciate it. Are you trying to figure out the way to keep the current generation that barely watches a 30-second video, the best way to keep their attention? Because right now we're an hour and a half deep. How many kids in high school are going to want to watch this? How many kids are going to want to watch that past 30 seconds of you with the DJ playing? Like, so what is that?
That's a great question, because my producer that I first started working with is producing a documentary right now. And he talked to me 2 weeks ago and he goes, how long do I make my documentary? Do I make it 15? Do I make it 30? Do I make it 45? That's not seconds. That's minutes, by the way, because it's going to 45-second documentary. All right. Yeah, here you go.
You get the guy that does the fast speaking at the end.
But that's one of the things. I just read an article too. I was explaining to him that the media form in just the electronic music industry is dead because people are writing sound bites that are 1 minute, 2 minute reads. They're not getting to the meat and the potatoes of the environment of it anymore. And so it's just like, okay, great. And then you come with the major people saying, oh, guess what? We don't need media presence because everyone has 3 48 megapixel cameras on their cell phone and can transmit to every social media platform around the world. So what do we need media to cover our event for?
Yep.
Are we a phased out brand? I still think that it's nice talking with the artist. And I personally say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let it go. You don't listen to it. You do listen to it.
But
Hey,
there's
great.
also
It's
a skill
long-form
to
show.
journalism too. Right? Like obviously you've been in the game, you've been interviewing a lot of people, and there is a skill to properly interviewing, to asking good questions where an amateur with just a phone isn't going to capture that same thing and there's also sometimes a trust, right? Where people know Darran Bruce, if he's walking in there and you've seen the same artist now 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, Darran has a few questions for me. I know he's not an asshole. I know he's not going to make me look bad. So I'm going to answer his questions as opposed to rando with a phone, right? So there is that relationship building that you get when you're someone who's in the space, that's constant, that's trusted, that's known. So, I think there is, like, obviously journalism has gotten a rap, and I think, rightfully so, right? Because 24/7 news sucks. I don't care what side you're on. It all sucks, right? So it's not great, but there is still a place for good journalists. I'm good friends with Brandon Scoopy Robinson, one of the best NBA insiders there is. And, we had this conversation on the show a few months ago where good journalists are still valuable. People that know how to tell a story are still very valuable, and how to craft a narrative that's a good narrative that people makes it interesting. So there's definitely a place for it. And I hope people realize there's still that place for it.
And I didn't go to school for journalism per se. I was raised customer service, working for Nordstrom's, always retail customer service stuff, gaining the accolades there of those companies, working for Apple. I'm huge on customer service and having a fun time. When I first finally dropped the mic, when I say drop the mic and saying drop the stigma of I got to be so professional, I got to edit it the right way. Because I'm now in a live environment where I say fucking anything goes.
Why I love the live stream. Like, it's fun.
It's like I love this and I can do whatever I want. Now I probably could be taken down for that in Facebook, but hence why we have our own servers. But you kind of build a knack, a feel for it, and I'm literally, while we're sitting here, I'm finishing up in a last minute email with a very big artist who I was put in front of through one of our new sponsor partner companies that is getting me in line with these artists. And he saw me work twice. He saw me work back in 2022. I came to one of their events. He saw me work in 2023 backstage doing my interviews. And he goes, Darran, anytime you want media clearance for any of our shows, you want to talk to any of our artists, you just let me know.
That's fantastic.
That company does over 500 events a year. And we're talking with some of the biggest names in the industry. I just interviewed the owner of the company. You'd be amazed at how many people are in his Rolodex.
But it's funny because that's an asset too, where it's like he's obviously seeing value in what you bring. So it's not necessarily a negative, or you're not nagging, or you're not trying to grab coattails by asking, right? Because he obviously sees a value in the skill that you bring. So therefore, like, hey, I want to talk to your artist. Cool. Go with Darran. Darran will take care of you with the good.
You're right. I mean, I see the interviews all the time, and I know people are out there trying, and maybe they didn't go to take classes on how to speak. You can jazz up your background and your set and get the best mics and best lighting all you want. But I'm like, can you tell me what about your show? Cool.
Damn it, Dave. Darren's gonna know that we suck at this.
Yeah, I know.
Or you guys don't suck. You're doing great. And no, but I mean, if you come off and you're doing a who, what, why, where, when, okay, and go get the damn Book of Dummies podcasting for dummies book. Okay, just come on, $34.99.
The
Get
thing
an
is
old
too,
version.
it's like you're gonna suck in the beginning, right? When you're first doing it, you're gonna suck. Like I'll say, like I did a sports podcast 7 years ago, and it was bad. The first 20 episodes or probably 25 episodes, no one should listen to it. You get burned. But as I've just been doing it, interviewing a ton of people, you just get a feel for it. And it's just you be yourself. Like you just enjoy it. You get a feel for it. You understand how it goes, and I mean, it's just a good time. So now, Dave, go over to the Twitch because I want people to go to Darren's Twitch. Go to
That's the main Twitch. That's the main Twitch.
That's the main one, and there's the other channels down there.
And that's why are we live right now on Twitch?
Well, we're live on. No, we're not live on our side. You guys live? Let's see.
No, click that button. I want to see that.
Click on
What's
it, let's
happening
get-
there?
Are we live? Are we also live?
No, okay. I didn't think I turned on that server. That was scary crap out of me for a second. Like, I didn't turn on that server. Oh,
That would have been interesting.
I did for a
would've
hot second. That's why I probably said live, and then I turned it on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyways,
Okay,
no,
now.
you got to get better with practice. And one thing that I saw that's a huge inspiration to me is Gary Vee. And Gary Vee did this thing once a long time ago, and he was talking about, I can't even remember what he was talking about, but what he was doing is up in the corner, up here, there's a picture in picture, and it started with number 1, number 2, and it cycled through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the podcast series did. And you watched it just get over time. It got to like number 300, and it just kept getting better and better and better in production over time.
Yep.
And that was a huge inspiration for me because I would love to have a montage done like that for me one day, where it's like, this is there here. Like, if I ever go back and watch an old episode, I'm like, people actually watch this shit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
You
used
just
to
look at
go
the
watch
quality
it to
now.
do like film session, basically try to get better, and now I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I'm hoping I was good. That the thing is too, it's like, sometimes when an interview feels good, it's like that one was good. Like I connected, we're good. Like, and then sometimes it was like, I probably could have been better. I could have put, that could have went, and it, you do enough, and it's like, so they're not all going to be great. And I think that's also something you got to come to terms with too. Like they're not all going to be great. You're going to have
Check
some
this
shitty
shit
ones.
out. I was just doing an interview. I'll try to wrap it up here, be really short.
No, it's okay.
But I was just doing an interview with a group called The Midnight. Are you familiar with them?
No, nope.
Big group. Didn't know much about them. Got the interview. It was like, because I do a lot of I do my research like an hour before I go live with anyone. And I get online and I'm watching the chat room, and we had tied we're using Restream. They tied their Twitch channel into it.
Yeah.
Their fans notify that they're live.
Yeah.
That we took like number 11 in the world when they were live on their channel, not our channel, their channel. I was like,
whatever. It's so cool.
so anyways, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'm watching the chat room go, and this viewer comes in and says, does this guy even know anything about these guys at all? And I went, oh, fuck. I'm freaking torn up. And I started focusing on the chat room, seeing what direction it was going to go in. I stopped listening to the interview because I'm getting ready to go basically, but like, okay, I'm going to have to stand up for myself in this chat room. And it distracted me from the show. It was like I was being heckled on stage.
Yeah.
And, I sometimes turn off the chat room for my chats.
It's sometimes good and bad.
Chats,
It's both, right? Because sometimes you can get a feel for the conversation, and sometimes the chat's valuable because I love our chat. I love Nate. I love Caveat because sometimes they bring really good questions and they help it move along. But yeah, then there are other times where you're looking and you're just like, fuck, I don't want to be an asshole. Gotta listen. Like,
and I'm just
bring
like,
it back.
I'm like, I don't know what they're gonna say. And then somebody came in like 5 chats later, and they're like, "Hey, just because you know everything about him doesn't mean he knows everything about him. Give him a break."
Exactly.
And then the interview went down later on, and people were like, "Wow, that was a great question. Wow, you really stumped." I love it when I stump people on my show too. Sometimes they'll look at me like, where the hell did you pull that out? How did you know I ate snails and caviar last night for dinner? I'm like, okay, you got this thing called social media. Do you not remember? I mean, I just kind of, because we got people all over the world.
Yeah. Everyone posts their whole lives on social media, and then when you bring it up, it's like, are you watching me? It's like, yeah, no, your million other fans are also watching you. So we are
exactly.
So Darren, I appreciate you coming on, man. This
Yeah,
was
totally.
3 years in the making,
Yeah.
but
That's
I
awesome.
absolutely appreciate it. This was a cool little insight, and I'm excited to see what you do next. I feel like
Mhm. Thank
you're a
you.
mover and shaker, and you got to get out to that. You got to get out to the East Coast because that's where we are.
Yeah, I was supposed to be in New York a few weeks ago, and yeah, I'm gonna be making it out there. I will be making it out there. It'll be some fun. Love it out
Very
there.
cool.
Good stuff.
So once again, he's Darren Bruce. He's the executive producer of the DJ sessions. And make sure you're on the lookout still. Go visit the website frequently because as he's hinted and alluded to, there is going to be a lot more going on. There's going to be some different things going on. And I think it's going to just be really good stuff coming out of here because again, what I gather from you is you want to do something, you at least try and you make it successful, and if it's not as successful as you want, you make it more successful. So that's I think that's great. So I'm pumped to see it. You can go find him on Twitch, right? Go on Twitch, go search for DJ sessions, go on to Facebook, go on to X, go to IG, go to DJ sessions. And I think it's actually really cool that you got the DJ sessions domain and that's all yours because that's fairly common, right? That's not like a very like big like thing, but DJ sessions, like it's cool that it's all yours. So you can go and find them there. And everyone go become a member if you like the EDM stuff and things like that. As for us, we'll be back next week. Again, we're continuing with no guest next week. David's just going to torture me by sending me. So what we do, Darren, is we were going a guest every single week. And while that's fine, one of the weeks, David is much more of a YouTube person than I am. So he
I
finds
just
out
send him
all of
internet
the
drama stuff. It's
he
really
sends
dumb.
me internet drama, and then because he's not here every other week, he works every other Wednesday. So when he's not here, I just basically get tortured by YouTube drama and some shit that's out of left field, and I just do live reacts every other week now. So it's fun, but. I'll be back next week with something. I have no idea what David has chalked up for me, but I'll be back with that. And then in 2 weeks, we'll be trying it again with side effects. So we're excited for that. So everyone, thank you so much for watching, wherever you're watching from, listening from, all that good stuff. I'll be back. David will be working, but that's okay.